Good evening, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mental Health Monday. Last week, we talked about mental health in sports and how mental health can make or break you as an athlete. Tonight, I want to kind of still talk about mental health and athletes, but shift focus just a little bit. Tonight, I want to do some motivation, right? All about mental health. We talk about the negatives and how it just hurts us and it can destroy our athletic performance. But let's talk about the motivational side of things and things that can motivate us to want to get better, to want to do better. As an athlete, as a man, as a person who owns a professional men's basketball team, one of the things that I realize is that we got to stay motivated and we got to set short term goals, but we also need to set those long term goals as well. And so, just a little bit of motivation for myself. What I've learned is that you got to find your why. When you get hurt, when you feel like you're just down, depressed, and out of it, find your why. What is your reason why you started doing what you started in the first place? Why did you want to play basketball? Why did you want to play football? Why did you want to play soccer, volleyball, whatever it may be? But why? What is your why? And then when you go back to your why and the reason why you started playing your sport, then you start to find out why is more important than any negative thing that may come your way. It may be for your family. It may be to get your family out of a poverty situation that may be causing you to stress out and may put some depression, anxiety onto you. It may be because you want a better life for yourself and this is an opportunity for you to grow, but you know your why. That why can be motivating for a lot of people. Man, I want to play pro football. Man, I want to play pro basketball. Man, I want to play pro soccer, hockey, baseball, whatever it may be. But I want to make it to the highest level of the sport that I am playing because of my why. My why can be because I saw an opportunity, I'm good at what I do, and I just want to get better overall, right? So that why, that reasoning behind why you're doing what you're doing. The next thing we look at is is any quotes that may sit with you on a day-to-day basis. For me, it could be a Bible verse. One of my favorite Bible verses that I look to and refer to is Colossians 3:23, right? And so when I'm feeling just down, playing my sport or I'm coaching or I'm mentoring, and I feel like, dang, I'm just stressed out, I go back to Colossians 3:23 and I read that Bible verse, and then it just sits with me right there. For some people, it's a quote, right? A quote that I look to as well that I use for a lot of inspiration is by Nelson Mandela, where it talks about uh, it always seems impossible, or let me look that quote up really fast because it's a very important quote there, and I have it on my emails as well, and it sits with me every single day that I'm struggling with something, and it motivates me to want to do better, and from there it allows me to kind of push forward some, right? And so that quote says, "It always seems impossible until it's done." So we may be stressed, we may be down, we may have an anxiety attack, we may be struggling something, but then we look at these quotes, and then it tells us it always seems impossible until it's done. Go tackle the impossible. Go after that impossible. I'm here to tell you that you can do whatever you set your mind to. There may be somebody in your life, there may be someone in the surrounding circles that you have that's telling you that might not be a good idea. But I'm telling you, if you have your heart and your mind set out to do something, go ahead and do it. Push to be better than yourself, because you are your biggest critic. So when you look yourself in the mirror, you tell yourself, I want to be better than that person that I'm looking at today, tomorrow, and forevermore. But that's just me. When I look in the mirror, I tell myself I want to be a better version of myself every single day. When I'm stressed, I look at Bible verses. When I'm going through life, I look at this quote where it tells me that it always seems impossible until it's done. I'm always going after the impossible to prove people wrong. You tell me I can't do something, I'm just the type of person that's going to go out there and try to prove you wrong and say, hey, I did it. I made it. Now what's next? Hello, everybody, and welcome in. Thank you for joining in the chat. I hope you guys are having a great day. And thank you for tuning in to Mental Health Monday. Today, we just want to hear some motivation, some positive things in life, right? Because there's a lot of times where we just focus on the negative in our lives, but we never focus on the positive. See, it's always important to know that there's always someone who will have your back. I got mentors, I got friends that will encourage me and push me to do better, to always be the best version of myself, to not listen to anything that people have to say, right? Because their talk is cheap. Their talk means nothing to me. But to stay motivated and to know that, hey, it's going to be brighter days, right? There's something that popped up in my Facebook memories not that long ago, and it talked about how life is like a camera, right? And we don't focus on the negatives, but we develop from the negatives in our lives. And so when we take that picture of the day that we're living, and you may say, hey, this is something negative, but let's not focus on that negative. Let's develop from that negative. Let's push forward from that negative. Let's find something positive, right? Because one of the biggest things that I tell my athletes, the biggest things that I tell my staff members as well, is that we don't have anything negative going on. We have lessons that we learn from. Yes, something bad may have happened in the day or in that moment, but that's a lesson learned. We learn from that lesson. We push forward, we move forward, and we grow from that. We want to continue to grow and find different ways to grow. And the way growth looks is a lot different for me than it is for you. So when we look at growth for me, I could be in a different season in my life than you are. But you might have wisdom for what I'm going through. So I might lean on you for advice. I might have some wisdom for you, and you might call on me and say, hey, I need some advice. See, I got a lot of friends that are like brothers to me, that are all over the US. I got friends that are in California. I got friends down in Florida, friends down in Texas. I got friends in Colorado. I got friends, in New York, all over the place, right? But those are my brothers. And when I call any one of them, no matter what time of the day it is, they will pick up the phone and see what's going on. It could be just where I'm just checking in. Hey, how's it going? I'll be the first to admit I'm bad with checking in. And I got some friends that I check in with, or at least try to check in once a week. And it's just a simple text. Hey, it's, mental health check. How you doing? What's going on? And then they'll give me a response. Hey, I'm still struggling with this, or I just need some help with this, or I just need someone to talk to. And I'm there to listen to them at that point in time. It may be where I just say, hey, listen, it's been a while. So I want to be able to support you in what you're doing in your everyday endeavors, right? Because when we look at our mental health, again, does not always have to be something bad. You can turn the negative from your mental health to something positive. Think back on your why. Again, I said this before, I'll repeat it again. It's why are we doing what we're doing? What is the reason why you started playing the sport that you played? When I first started even hearing more about mental health and men um, and youth, it just really allowed me to find different resources, or at least attempt to find different resources. One of those things was going on hikes. And I like to go on hikes. It clears your mind. It allows you to really just feel free and just be in nature. No electronics, nothing, just walking, and just something about being in nature and just hearing the flow of the water and hearing the birds chirping and just really just hearing the leaves just crumble from under your feet when you step on them. It's soothing, it's peaceful, right? That's something that I like. So just know that it's a beautiful thing to find something positive to do when you feel like your mental is going sideways for you. Another thing that I did was I started martial arts. Martial arts allows you to meditate a little bit. It allows you to relax. It allows you to uh, bring the inner beast out of you, and it allows you to forget about what you really are going through. Again, how's everybody going in the chat? Appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. Mental Health Monday is something that is near and dear to me. It's important, and I appreciate all the support from each and every one of you guys. And so, on top of that, though, outside of martial arts, outside of the hikes, the nature walks, um, something else that is really soothing as well and peaceful, if you ever get the chance, is horseback riding. If you ever been horseback riding, it's relaxing. At least for me, it is. I'm from Philadelphia, and my first time ever getting on a horse was in 2014, and had the opportunity to just get on a horse and learn how to ride the horse. And then ever since then, I'm like, oh, I want to just go really fast with this horse and see how fast I can go. And it was just like, I set small goals for myself, right? And then we look at how when you start to gallop and how that can be a little scary, but it's like, at least for me as a man, I'm like, that's just dangerous. But at the end of the day, I'm like, listen, I can go fast. I can do what I need to do with this horse, and then I forget about anything that was going on that day. I'm there in the moment. I'm enjoying what I'm doing as horseback riding or whatnot, and so it's really nice. Outside of that, is I actually got to go fishing for the first time, and that was up in Michigan, and that was back in 2020. And let me tell you, when we went through the whole thing with COVID and everybody's panicking about being 6 feet and all this other stuff, I got the opportunity to go fishing for the first time. And one, I never knew how to put the worm on the hook. I never knew how to cast my line or do any of that stuff. And so I was able to go on the boat and sit there, but then I had someone teach me how to, bait my hook and then cast my line out there. And, my mentor and one of my good friends, he was actually casting his line. He fell asleep, and then he felt his line moving, and then he jumped and grabbed his fishing pole really fast. And then he was like, listen, I'm gonna give it to you so you can experience what it's like to reel in your first fish. And it's like, I didn't know what I was doing. So it became a little, like, for me, it was like stressful at first because I'm like, dang, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just throwing my line out there. It's getting caught on the seaweed and different things like that. And I'm like, listen, this is crazy. But from him to actually teach me and show me how to reel my fish in, it became peaceful, and knowing that, like, I'm on a body of water, I'm fishing for the first time, I'm learning something new. And it was just another thing that I learned, that it can take away from the negative in your mental health and bring some positivity out of it as well. Um, and along with the fishing, it was just more funny. Like everybody laughed at me because I was the city kid who didn't know how to fish or do any of that stuff. I was learning for the first time, but they actually got fish. And it was like, here, grab the fish. And then it never taught me how to grab the fish either. And I went to go grab the fish, and it like the gill went up and it poked me on my hand. At first, I thought it was trying to bite me, and everybody's laughing and just having a good time or whatnot. And then after that, I caught like two fish myself and reeled them in. And then they're like, "Here, kiss the fish. It's good luck." And I was like, "I'm not kissing no fish. Like y'all are crazy." But the laughter is a good point too as well. Um, is if you can find a time in your day where you can laugh, then you're having a good day. You have to show some kind of emotion within your day to know that you can have a good day. For me, it can be being moved by tears for whatever reason, it can be laughter, but laughter is a good way to cope with your mental health. You're like, hey, listen, I'm struggling with this. You just laugh it off, keep pushing forward. Or you can laugh because God's trying to show you something, and it just something just clicked in your mind, and you're like, man, like I needed that, and you just laugh about it. Uh, Outside of horseback riding, fishing, the hikes, nature walks, or whatnot. Um, Another good one for me is just finding something as far as sports related to do by myself, whether it's shooting basketball, paintball shooting, even though that's not by yourself, but paintball shooting, going to the firing range. I find that if I go to the firing range and I have a stressful day, I can take all my anger and my stress out in the firing range. Um, Now, I'm not saying that's the best idea to do, but going to the firing range, I found that they have this target for battleship at the firing range, at least the one I was going to, and I can actually um, fire at the different battleships and kind of go from there. And it was a good game that I got to play with a good friend of mine, and it was the first time we went to the firing range, and we were just playing battleship, and it was like, man, this is crazy. We shot different firearms, and it was a good time. But finding something positive to do that is going to allow you to feel a peace of mind when you're going through anything. Uh, it could, like I said, it could be a number of things. I've listed a few of those things, but find your motivation when you feel like your mental health is just going down. Like I said, I gave a quote from Nelson Mandela where it says, "It always seems impossible until it's done." I gave a Bible verse, Colossians 3:23. So find something that will work for you, that's going to work best for you. Keep a journal, take notes, timestamp them, write it down, put a key on it, lock it up, tuck it away, and then when you feel like something is happening, do the same thing all over again. Timestamp it, write it in that journal, lock it up, put it away again. It is okay, no matter who you are, male or female, to struggle mentally. It is okay for you to show emotions. It is okay for you to speak out on what's working and what's not working. It's okay for you to let people know that you're not doing okay, because at the end of the day, you need to do what's best for you. And if vocally expressing yourself is what happens, then do so, right? Because it makes you better. It helps you grow at the end of the day. One of the other things that I struggle with personally that I like as well is playing an instrument. I don't know how to play the drums. I don't know how to play the guitar like that, but that's something I like to do. I can just pick it up and I can act like I'm, a guitarist, or I know how to play the drums. But for some reason, it's peaceful. It's soothing um, to even look at that and really just know that I'm attempting to do something. uh, but it works best for me, and what I'm doing at that time. The other thing is that you may watch a movie, eat some popcorn, do something along those lines, but you got to find what's going to work best for you. For me, another thing that I like to do, and I'm crazy with this too, when it comes to like those nature hikes, is I like to try to put a weighted vest on, or even put some weights inside of a book bag, and just go and see how far I can push my limits. I remember one time when I was living out in Northwest Ohio, I had packed a bag, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to attempt to do this, but I'm gonna walk 12 miles with 45 pounds on my back. And I was able to walk the 12 miles in three and a half hours with the 45 pounds on my back. So it pushed me to go further than what I was expecting. Uh, but you learn a lot about yourself when you push yourself to new limits. Uh, and so I'm gonna challenge you guys to push yourself to new limits, to new heights, in order to grow. You will not be judged based on your struggles and your past, because your struggles and your past will only make you a better person for tomorrow. Your struggles in your past will put you in the same pathway as someone who has struggled with or is struggling with the very exact same thing, and they just need someone to listen, to encourage them, and to talk to. And it might be you. You never know. But I want to give you guys an opportunity, for those that are watching, to just put in the chat some things that may be positive and motivating for you when you're struggling with something in life. Well, we want to hear, we want to know what some other ways that you cope with the struggles that you have. The reason why you do those things, because it's going to help us better ourselves. We may be able to do something along those lines to uh, relate on the same boat. So let's see, what you guys have. What is motivating? What is peaceful? What brings that peace of mind to you guys when you're struggling mentally? I gave you guys a handful of things already. Like I said, those nature walks, horseback riding, going to the fire range, fishing, playing an instrument, sports, martial arts. Um, you pick and choose. But even those inspirational quotes, a Bible verse, but you pick and choose what helps you out. Hey, that's some good points right there. The journaling, yep. Journaling is good. Walking, isolation. That is a good point too. Sometimes you just need to step away and just reflect on what's happening. Reflect and just say, hey, why am I upset? Why am I, mad? Why am I pissed off about a situation, or why am I mentally struggling with something? You know, and for men, sometimes walking away can be the hardest thing to do as well, because we got to have the final say. We got to be that top person or whatnot. But just walking away, it's all right. It's always a beautiful thing to know that we all struggle, but knowing that we have that opportunity to separate ourselves, learn, and then jump back in. Sometimes just exactly, it's okay not to be okay, and sometimes it's okay to just talk it out with someone. Like, I may be able to just call someone at 9 o'clock at night and say, listen, I'm struggling, I need some advice, here's the situation that I'm in. And sure enough, that person will give me some advice, and that person will help me out. If you're in a relationship, just talking it out with your spouse. Hey, listen, this is what I'm going through. This is what's in my head right now. what should I do or what can we do? Because what we fail to realize again that we're human, we're not perfect. We're not a computer. We don't read minds. So I don't know what you're going through, and you don't know what I'm going through unless I speak out about it. So speak up and speak out because you never know what someone is going through. Sometimes a simple hug or a simple text to check in on somebody will go a long way because you don't know what that person is going through. I brought up last week a stat of 22 veterans a day that commit suicide. But just think if someone could have just sent a random text to that veteran or to a person, it doesn't even have to be veterans. Just think broader picture, anyone, right? Young adults with men, anyone in general that are struggling with mental health, and you just send that message and say, "Hey, I'm thinking about you," or "Hey, I saw you did this. I'm proud of you." Because you never know. Some people they never heard that phrase in their life that I am proud of you. Good job. You're doing great. Hey, I love you. I appreciate you. It's simple words and gestures like that that can really change someone's thinking and someone's mindset. But it's sad that we live in a world today where we rather see someone struggling and be put down and beaten and broken instead of lifting them up and encouraging them to do better. Just let that sink in. We live in a broken world, a broken society that would rather see someone struggling, broken, and beat down before they pick someone up and encourage them. We would rather pick up our phones and record someone getting beat up, someone getting shot at, someone doing something, and post it on social media for everyone to see instead of trying to step in and call the cops or step in and say, "Hey, listen, this may not be right. What's going on? Try to intervene or something." I'm not saying you got to play Superman and jump in the middle of a gunfight and take the bullet for someone, but intervene, calling the cops, getting someone out there that could intervene in a different way that can, isolate the situation. We can't be a great society if we fail to check in with one another. I don't care if you got to text once a week and put a reminder on your phone to say, listen, I need to text this person and check in with them. Hey, it's been a long time coming, but I need to text this person because I haven't heard from them in months. How are they doing? Where are they at in life? And that's a great point in the chat as well. You can't help someone else out if you don't help yourself out first. What does your heart look like? What does your mind look like? Where are you at? And where do you want to be at? I want to challenge everyone that's watching on a few things here. One, to really examine yourself and look at where you're at right now in life. And once you get that done, I want to challenge you guys to really just push forward and find someone that can give you some words of advice on how to get through the season of the life of your life that you're in right now. But once you get through this season, I want you guys to go out and find someone who may be in the same situation as you and mentor that person just like someone had just mentored you to get through that same situation. See, I'm really big on pouring back into the lives of the youth because it really allows us to catch them where they're at and pour into their lives and teach them stuff that they may not have known already. For example, expressing your feelings, letting them know it's okay to express their feelings. It's okay to not be okay. Being around like minded people that's going to set you apart, to uplift you to new heights. Next, I want you guys to put some quotes out there in the chat that really help you get through some tough times in your lives. And maybe someone that's watching could use that same quote or that same Bible verse that's going to set you apart or set them apart to do something bigger than what they're already doing right now. Because again, it's always impossible until it's done. Again, your mental health is important. We always talk about the negatives, the negatives, the negatives, but what about some motivation? How do we try to stay away from those negatives? How do we focus on the positives? How do we get better? How do we get through this time of our life? For me, I know I have a great support system. My family constantly watches the podcast. They constantly watch dogs basketball when we have games. You know, my family constantly supports me through everything that I do. And I can't ask for a better support system than that. You know, being able to go to work full time, come home, being able to spend time with you guys on a live and encourage you guys and mentor and teach you guys stuff that I know and stuff that I don't know. And then turning around and being able to spend time with my family, my kids, my loved ones, my significant other, right? So just know, like, let's find those people. Let's find those like minded people that's going to push you to better heights. Because having those motivational quotes, Bible verses, those people that's in your inner circle that's going to teach you something new, that's exciting right there. My goal every single day is to learn something new. Every single day. I have to learn something new every single day. Because it keeps my mind thinking, it keeps my mind flowing, it keeps my mind off of what could have happened than what actually did happen. Right? We, again, are humans and we can go neck and neck with each other. But it's how you handle that situation that can set you apart as a man, even as a woman. You may not have answered that question correctly. You may have not even handled that situation appropriately. But let's separate yourself from that situation for a moment and let's pull it right back in and go talk to that person. That person could be your boss. Listen, I want to talk to you about this situation that just happened. I wasn't thinking clearly. I didn't see your point of view or perspective. And it seems like you may have not seen my point of view or perspective. And now that we're both level headed, here is my perspective and point of view on why I said or did what I did. Now, what's your perspective and point of view on why you said and did what you did. So that way I understand and I can grow to be better, right? Because sometimes when we get into arguments, we'll get into fights, that can trigger something in our mind and it could just mentally drain us. It can put us in a situation where we just are done and we just can't take it no more. But you have support, you have those people. And again, it just goes back to that isolation, just taking yourself out, but then pulling yourself back in. Sometimes you don't have to go full force on everything that you do. It is okay to take it slowly, take it step by step by step. I'm like, all right, listen, let's plan out our day really fast. All right, we're gonna wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. At 7 o'clock, everybody should be up. We're gonna have breakfast by 8 o'clock. All right, after we have breakfast by 8 o'clock, all right, we're gonna spend 2 hours of family time together. All right, 2 hours of family time. After the 2 hour family time is done, already, let's do some schoolwork or some educational activity with the kids. All righty, at 2 hours, boom. By that time, it should be lunchtime. All right, lunchtime. What are we having for lunch? Okay, lunch should be done. We should be ready to go. You have a schedule set out and set in stone. But then something happens throughout the day because emergencies happen and things happen throughout your day that will throw you off your schedule. But you got to be able to be flexible and open minded to change in your schedule, and it will throw you off and it will mess you up and it will hurt. But as you communicate and as you stay flexible and as you're open to change, it makes it that much easier for you to go about your day. There may be times where I go to work 5 o'clock in the morning and then I'm supposed to be home by or back at, where I park my vehicle at. I'm back there by 9:30 and then I get home by 9:45 in the morning. From 9:45 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the afternoon, that's my family time. Sometimes I got to eat lunch a little bit earlier because I get a call that they need me to come back to work a little bit earlier. Or sometimes I'm just so tired I just take a nap and then fall asleep playing with the kids or whatnot. But there's flexibility, there's change. But I got the support. I'm open to allowing those changes to happen. And I don't let that bother me. And then what I really found out too is that when I feel like I'm being flustered or even I feel like I'm overwhelmed or I'm just my pride, my joy is just being taken from me. I have my spouse who is there to encourage me and to push me to new heights. And sometimes that's what we need is we need our significant others to push us to those new heights and to new levels, to love on us and to let us know that it's going to be okay. No matter what we go through, it's going to be okay. And with that being said, guys, I appreciate you guys for taking the time to come in on Mental Health Monday to learn about the negative side of mental health, but to learn some positive things that you can do to set yourself apart when your mental health is going through the roof. Because it's not easy. It takes an army of people to come together to get us to where we need to be at. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. And until next time, you guys stay classy and have a great night. I appreciate you all. Stay blessed.